Ever get that feeling like, things are a little off? Like the world is maybe a little out of whack?
Yeah.
Well, today's deep dive might just give us a new way to look at things. We're going deep into Hindu cosmology and this idea of the Kali Yuga.
The Kali Yuga.
Yeah, it's often called like the Dark Age. And get this, we've got this really cool text called the Bhavisha Malika.
Okay.
It's not just like some dusty old scroll, right? This text actually claims it has the inside scoop on when this Kali Yuga ends and what happens after.
Wow.
Intrigued.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting you bring that up because unlike some other traditional scriptures, right, the Bhavisha Malika, it's like it's speaking directly to us.
Yeah.
Right here, right now. Like it was written for people living at the end of this Kali Yuga.
Whoa. Okay, so you're already a step ahead. For those of us who maybe slept through that world religions class, let's back up for a sec. What is this Kali Yuga thing, and how does it fit into the whole, like, cosmic calendar?
Right, so in Hindu thought time, it isn't just like a straight line. It's more of a wheel, this constantly turning cycle of ages. And these are called Yugas.
Yugas. Okay.
And there are 4 of them, Satya, Treta, Dvapara, and then, where we end up, the Kali.
Okay.
And each Yuga has like a different, I don't know what you'd call it, 8 vibe.
Okay.
Think of it as this like slow descent.
Okay.
Starting with the Satya Yuga, total golden age, right?
Yeah.
Enlightenment, purity, all that. And then it gradually winds down to where we are now, Kali Yuga, where things are a bit more...
A little messier, you could say.
Exactly. And the Bhavisha Malika really gets into this whole decline thing. There's actually this list of 35 transgressions that it claims are like speeding up how fast the Kali Yuga is ending.
Okay.
Things like traditional families breaking down, how we exploit nature.
Hold on, wait. So you've got this ancient text, and it's talking about environmental destruction like it's nothing new. Were they dealing with like deforestation and pollution way back then too?
Not on the same scale as us.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Okay.
But that's what's so interesting, right?
Right.
The Bhavisha Malika isn't just talking about like prees and stuff. It's connecting this exploitation to a decline in Dharma.
Dharma. There's a big one. So for those of us who didn't grow up with this, can you break down Dharma? What does that even mean? And how does it all connect to this Yuga business?
Okay, so Dharma is it's a big idea. A lot of people translate it as duty or cosmic order, even righteousness.
Okay.
Basically, it's about living in a way that lines up with the universe's laws, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And the Bhavisha Malika, it's suggesting that the more we move into this Kali Yuga, the weaker our connection to Dharma gets. Like we get more selfish, we forget about each other, the planet, and basically we create chaos.
So you're saying our actions, like what we do every day, it actually affects the cosmic clock.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
It's a pretty powerful concept. Right?
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you wonder, how long is this Kali Yuga even supposed to last?
Oh, right. I did read something about that. Don't some of the old texts, like the manuscript, say it's something crazy long, like 432,000 years or something?
Yeah, that's one interpretation.
What does the Bhavisha Malika say about that?
It goes in a different direction, a much shorter timeline.
Okay.
According to the Bhavisha Malika, the Kali Yuga, it's like a blip,
Right.
5,000 years. That's it.
Oh, wow.
And here's the even wilder part, those transgressions. Those 35 sins, remember those?
Yeah.
They're like speeding up the decline, making the Yuga even shorter.
Wait, so you're telling me all the bad stuff happening in the world is literally making the cosmic clock run faster? That's wild.
It's a trip, right? And it gets even wilder. Some scholars, based on how they interpret certain astronomical stuff, they think based on the Bhavisha Malika's timeline, the Kali Yuga, it's already over.
Wait, so we could be on the verge of a whole new cosmic cycle right now, and we're just like sitting here talking about it.
Maybe, yeah. It's definitely something to think about, right? And the Bhavisha Malika, it doesn't just like drop this truth bomb about the Kali Yuga ending. It also gets into what comes after.
Okay, so like what happens next? Are we talking spaceships, aliens, a whole new set of yugas? What's the Bhavisha Malika say about this transition?
Well, it wouldn't be Hindu cosmology without some divine intervention, right?
Right.
The Bhavisha Malika talks about Kalki.
Kalki.
He's the 10th avatar of Lord Vishnu, the final avatar.
Okay, so Vishnu, he's like the cosmic caretaker, right? And these avatars are like divine beings who show up throughout the yugas to kind of like set things straight, a little course correction.
Yeah, exactly. And we've all heard of some of them, right? Like Brahma, Krishna.
Right.
But Kalki, he's a little different.
Okay. How
A
so?
little more. Intense.
Intense. Oh.
He's usually shown as this fierce warrior riding a white horse, wielding a flaming sword,
So gotta have the flaming sword.
arriving like a comet, like across the sky.
Wow, talk about making an entrance. He sounds like straight out of like a fantasy novel or something.
Yeah.
So what's his role in all of this?
Kalki is like the great restorer, right? He shows up as the Kali Yuga ends to destroy evil, restore Dharma.
Yeah.
And then starts this whole new golden age, a brand new Satya Yuga, and then the cycle just starts all over again.
So like a cosmic reset button, everything just gets wiped and we start fresh.
Not necessarily a total clean slate. I mean, the Bhavisha Malika seems to say the transition, it might not be that literal.
Okay.
It focuses more on like a change in consciousness
Okay.
for all of us. You know?
Okay, so less about the planet actually being destroyed and more about like a shift in how we think and how we act.
Right, exactly. And this is where those signs of the Kali Yuga ending come in, remember?
Right.
The Bhavisha Malika has this whole list of stuff to watch out for.
Right.
I mean, some of it is pretty out there.
Yeah.
Like the moon losing its shine or whatever, animals acting weird.
Right. I remember reading about that. But some of them felt almost like familiar.
Yeah.
Like false prophets, everyone being obsessed with money and stuff. Less compassion, as like the Bhavisha Malika was describing, like the news or something.
That's what's so interesting about it. I mean, some signs are like totally symbolic.
Yeah.
But others, they feel really relevant now.
Yeah.
That makes you wonder.
Yeah. So how are we supposed to interpret these signs then? Is it about like checking them off a list? Like we need to be like preparing for doomsday?
No, not at all. The Bhavisha Malika isn't about being afraid.
Okay.
It's about seeing the patterns,
Yeah.
Understanding what's happening and using that knowledge to make good choices.
Okay. So it's less about like predicting the end of the world and it's more about understanding kind of where we are, in this huge timeline and maybe how what we do affects it.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I think is so cool about the Bhavisha Malika. It doesn't just like point out the problem, it also offers like the solution, a path, you know?
Okay, I'm listening. What kind of solutions does it say, like, go live in a cave and meditate? Or stock up on supplies, build a bunker?
Yeah, no, nothing like that. It's way more practical. It's about personal transformation.
Okay.
Like working on yourself, developing certain qualities.
Yeah.
Generosity, honesty, compassion, all that.
So it's more about inner work. That's actually relatable.
Right.
Even if you don't, like, know all the ins and outs of the Yuga stuff.
Yeah, totally. The idea is that, the Kali Yuga, it's a mess, but it's also this crazy opportunity to grow.
Okay.
And the Bhavisha Malika is saying that when we focus on that, on ourselves, we don't just get better ourselves, but we also contribute to this bigger change in consciousness for everyone.
So it's like the universe is saying, hey, things might be a little crazy right now, but, don't panic. Just, work on yourself. Be a better person.
Yeah, pretty much. And it brings up an interesting question. If this transformation is something we're all like part of, if what we do really has these cosmic consequences, then what about Kalki?
That is a great question. If we're not just like waiting around for this guy to come down and fix everything, then what is it like? What does his arrival actually mean? It's like, is he the cause or is he the effect? Like, does Kalki showing up, is that what causes the change? Or is it the other way around? Does the Bhavisha Malika like say anything about that?
It's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
The Bhavisha Malika, it doesn't really present Kalki like he's, swooping in to save the day.
Okay.
It's less about him like forcing change from, up on high.
Yeah.
It's more about humanity, like we kind of evolve.
Okay.
And Kalki is more of a reflection of that.
So as we start to understand this whole Dharma thing better, as people become more compassionate, more generous, more, all the stuff we were talking about, that's what makes his arrival more likely.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're kind of creating the right conditions. And Kalki showing up, it's both a symbol of that, and it's like it helps to speed things up, like a catalyst.
Okay.
He embodies everything that the Satya Yuga is about, courage, righteousness, enlightenment.
Right.
And when he shows up, it inspires those same qualities in all of us.
So it's like by doing our own inner work, we're not just like improving ourselves, but we're kind of like drawing this powerful force into the world.
That's a really cool way to think about it. And it speaks to this whole idea that we're not just like watching this all happen, right?
Right.
We're a part of it. What we do, it matters.
So where did that leave us then? I mean, if the Kali Yuga isn't, some kind of countdown clock, but is actually like this chance to grow, how do we actually deal with all the craziness? It can feel kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, for sure. The Bhavisha Malika is saying that the most important thing is like changing how we see it all.
Okay.
So instead of being afraid of the Kali Yuga ending, we can see it as this time of like crazy potential. It's like, look at all the chaos. It's an opportunity, to evolve, to get stronger, to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
So the Bhavisha Malika is saying, like, don't freak out. There's hope.
Exactly. It's not about pretending the challenges aren't there. It's about seeing that they can help us to wake up.
Okay.
Help us understand ourselves, understand the universe.
So instead of getting lost in all the drama, we can use this time to, work on ourselves, tap into our own wisdom, and actually help to create a better future.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And, who knows? Maybe if we do that, we'll actually bring about that new dawn, that Satya Yuga, even faster. The one that Bhavisha Malika talks about with so much hope.
This has been Dot Intense, the Kali Yuga, Dharma, Avatars, Cosmic Cycles.ru. But more than just information, I think, what's so cool about the Bhavisha Malika is how it changes our perspective, right? Mm-hmm. It reminds us that we're not just along for the ride, we're like active participants in all of this. So yeah, things might seem a little crazy out there, but maybe, just maybe, that's not a bad thing. Maybe it's just what we need to evolve.